I have probably put more money into this E90 328i than anyone really should. For most enthusiasts, after owning this car, they quickly decide for themselves that they would rather save for a 335i for its power potential or the M3 version of this car for its superior driving experience. And I actually did end up buying an E92 M3 2 years ago, and I have been loving every second of it. But something keeps bringing me back to my 328i, just wanting more out of it. Maybe it's the sentimental factor of it with it being my first car, or maybe the 328 is actually just a really fun car even though it is the base model. But after 5 years of owning this car and modifying it, no mod has changed the way it makes me feel when I drive this car like the one you're about to see here. Behind me is my 2011 BMW 328i. I've had this car for about 5 years now and documented tons of mods I've actually done to the car. But my most favorite mod I've done to this car is switching it from the automatic transmission to the manual. I didn't even actually want a manual swap it. Tons of people told me to. But when my automatic transmission started having tons of issues and I didn't really feel like putting another automatic in there or trying to fix it, I thought the manual just simply made sense at the time. And it has made this car feel like a complete different car. It doesn't really feel like just a boring 328 more. It definitely feels more like an enthusiast car now. And I'm gonna show you the journey of how we got there. You can tell the shifts, look at that, it's really violent. What you just heard there was a small snippet of the many issues I was having with my automatic GM transmission. Now, these issues could have been fixed, you know, if the transmission fluid was changed a little bit more often, and of course, switching out the solenoids, but to me, it didn't make any sense to invest in an automatic transmission when I want the manual. So I hit up the expert when I know when it comes to E90s, my friend Chris. He actually has a single turbo, custom made 328i drift build. And he introduces me to this guy on Facebook Marketplace. He's in Anderson, South Carolina, and he has like 20, 30 E90s all pulling apart with tons of different parts. So I hit him up and he actually has a manual transmission with all the parts I need to swap it out. And he only is going to charge me $950, and that includes him taking all the parts out for me. Now here's the one issue. Sadly, that transmission is for a 330i, not the 328. But actually, those 330i transmissions, even though a little bit bigger, they can actually fit into the 328 with the 330 drive shaft. So I head my way up to South Carolina, grab the transmission, and just looking around, there are tons of E90s everywhere. So they load everything up into the car, and right now we're only in it for $950. So then I make my way back to my friend Chris, who's gonna actually also do the install as well. He ends up doing the install. There was a couple parts he needed, but in total, $900. So we're in it $1,850, and before he actually installs it, he tells me that my friend Nelson actually has a lightweight flywheel and clutch. I ended up buying that off of him for $450. So we're in it only about $2,400, and I have this amazing lightweight flywheel as well. Now Chris is actually pretty quick with this. Again, a couple parts were needed. I think a couple wires were missing and something to do with some like shift bushing. But once those parts are in, Chris gets to work, and after the parts come, he installs it and does a swap in like 3 days. A little bit of coding was required, but besides that, the car is here and it is running smoothly. I'm driving it. It feels like a whole entire new car, and it's just amazing. So this car has been manual swapped for a little bit more than a week now. It's been broken into, and I've just been enjoying every single bit of it. The car actually feels a lot faster. If anybody knows why when manual swapping a car it feels faster, or actually is faster, I feel like it makes more torque, honestly. I don't know if it's anything to do with, I guess, less drivetrain loss when it comes to power or what, but it feels a lot faster, and the lightweight flywheel gives it a really nice sound. I wasn't a big fan of the sound with this car once I sat there and got callous headers. It sounded a little bit too raspy, but it sounds sounds amazing now. It really, really, really does. I mean, it's still a 320, don't get me wrong. Before a 328, this is one of the better sounding ones I've heard. It's still a little bit too loud though, but I just love the way this thing sings in the higher RPMs. And it's just, I don't know, just revs up so much with the windows down. You can really hear it. It revs really quickly, feels a lot faster, and it's just a much more enjoyable driving experience. But let me know what you guys think. If you are thinking about manual swapping your 328, definitely do it. It just wakes the car up so much, especially if you're bored with it. And yeah, it's just fun. Feels a lot more powerful. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have a lot more plans coming for this car. If you really care, hit the subscribe button. Peace, guys.